Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Rich, Sexy, and Free. And I'm Jo Warwick, and I'm so pleased you're joining me today. So, we're going to be doing a series around what is success. We have so many misunderstandings about success, and I was inspired by the fact that today we launched the first day of the LAG, the masterclass that is running. You can still grab and join us now live inside a Telegram, but it will then become an instant access program because it is part 3 of the masterclass series. So everything that is around coming out of those glitches and coming into success. And today we were exploring, what is success? What does success look like, feel like? What does it mean to you? And I was thinking about how success is that the body knows best. When you are in alignment with the body saying yes or no, when to move forward and when not to. Now, I am a projector. I'm a splenic projector, which means that my yeses are quiet and inside my spleen. They're part of my intuition, but my body still expresses them. I know how to listen to them. Your yeses may be slightly different if you are a manifestor, a generator, manifesting generator. If you are coming from your sacral, your energy, your solar plexus, your yeses may be different. But it's the better that we get to know our body's language, the more that we can come into success flow. And so much of my work over my lifetime has been around helping women to decondition from the experiences that they had, either when they were in trauma, when they were in childhood and they were unsafe, they felt unsafe, they couldn't express how they felt, perhaps they played the good girl, and so they were conditioned to be not themselves. They were conditioned to become like someone else or for someone else, and they were conditioned to survive and not thrive as themselves. So one of the things when I worked with women quite heavily around abuse and trauma was recognizing that it was okay as a survival mechanism. You couldn't admit as a child that you didn't feel safe in your family. That would go against everything about belonging, but it was in your body and you knew the truth. You didn't feel safe. And so we repeat these patterns. We then choose relationships that are unsafe or mirror trauma or mirror the disassociation of our power. We do these things to give ourselves another opportunity to work out what was missing and how we can come into our success. So when I was thinking about what is success, for a long time I did like everybody else. I chased success. I chased the gold medals. Particularly when I was riding professionally, it was chasing the literal medals, as though this would give me the high, the freedom that I craved. When we are in true success flow, it is about freedom. It's the freedom to be yourself. It's the freedom of that flow and that movement, that expansion, those choices, that receiving, that creating, that giving. We're living in the now. We're living in the flow. We're living as though we're driving down the best road there is in our best car and loving life. And that is what true success is. You're living in every single moment, achieving what you want to achieve in the now, but also fully engaged with the energy to have the things that you want that are unfolding and coming to you. But to do that, we have to have this relationship with our body. We have to be in a space of our body knows best. Our body knows best, instead of listening to conditioning that's in our mind or listening to trauma responses. And the better and better we get at deconditioning and trusting ourselves, the louder it becomes, the easier it becomes, the better it becomes, and the more that we can prove to ourselves, I knew that. If you've ever heard yourself say that, oh, I knew that. Oh, I knew that. And I had a small thing happen today which inspired this podcast. I was in the shower and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to record today? And I was thinking about the fact that I think I mentioned that I have gone back to doing some networking in person because I wanted that physical connection. And there was a particular women's group I was interested in joining. I thought, I want another women in business group. That would be great. And I knew it. The moment the email came back, I had given no information, but I knew it. The moment the email came back, this woman was saying, oh no, we don't have a space. They can't have 2 people who are the same. And I did lean in and I did say, I haven't actually given you any of my information. So I did send my information and I said, if that changes anything. But I could feel, even as I was writing it, my body was going, no. But I overrode it because I wanted the practical of saying, right, She came back, still not a fit. She said, there's somebody else there. That's fine. And then she introduced me to this other woman. And the other event is well over an hour away from me. This isn't right for me. And I was laughing because I was trying to justify taking that drive, trying to justify, do I really want to go there? I should go there. And my head was trying to figure it out. And when I stopped and listened to myself in the shower, you were like, but your body knew yesterday it was a no. Your body knew yesterday. And I laughed. So, we can still have those programmings. And it was such a small thing. It wasn't like a big thing, but it was such a great opportunity for me to share this with you today. And I can think of many times in my life when I was learning about this, when I was younger. So when I was training, riding, I had many opportunities come up for me. And some were good, some were bad. And I made a very interesting choice in my life where I shook this woman's hand and my whole body recoiled. And yet I still said yes. My journey could have been very, very different if I had listened to myself. That period of my life was very traumatic and very painful because of that decision. So that was a big learning for me. If, however, I think about other times when I have lent in, my body was saying yes, but I couldn't make sense of it. I couldn't make sense about how it would line up and what it would do and where was it going. There have been times for that too, when I have met extraordinary people or I've hopped on a plane and ended up somewhere I didn't know. I remember when I was traveling around France, not this year, but a few years ago now, with my dog. I love doing that free-flowing driving as a way of testing my intuition. So I don't plan it. I just follow where my body wants to go, my intuition wants to go. I was quite far south and I just drove up to this very posh hotel and they had space. I hadn't pre-booked, they had space. I turned up but when I took Faith for a walk round the back, they said, oh, there's a field you can take her to. And I walked into the field and literally the whole field, as Faith bounded on forward, the whole field just flew up in the air because most of the flowers in there were butterflies. There must have been 1,000 butterflies of all different colours. It truly was the most magical experience. And yet I would never have found it if I hadn't have trusted myself, trusted the body. So I want you to really think for yourself, where are you trusting your body, your intuition, the call, and when are you not? Is there particular areas that trigger you to not trust yourself? I would say that I am still learning to trust myself in business. Still, even though I've been doing it for 25 years. I might have made lots of other people lots of money. And I might have had 4 companies and all of those delightful things. And yet it is still the place that I can fall into my not self. I can fall out of being in my success flow because it's still the part that is about, that knocks me into old programming about proving. So that's my area. I'd say a lot of my life, I trust myself on in flow. And at the moment, I'm here where I am at the moment. I am having a glorious time. I'm back on the horses. And I was thinking about how I trust my body there and how far I've come, because I didn't ride for a long time. And then I rode for a bit and then I had my knee surgery. If you don't know me, I started riding when I was 4. I had my first ponies when I was 9. I worked my way up in competition. Eventually I went on to ride professionally and then I was training for the Olympics. That was an example of how I got so wrapped up in what I thought success was instead of the success and the joy and the delight of what I could have and receive when I was in my success flow, what felt right and good to me, when I was trusting my own body. And I was riding to yesterday and I was thinking about how, as though I collapsed time, as though I was back to being a kid. And I'm laughing because I'm not walking like someone who's back to being a 9-year-old, but it's all good. It's all fun and great. But I was feeling the joy and the delight, and it's the delight. The delight is the unfolding, and for me, delight is the greatest sign I'm in success flow. And I know that even though things come in, and they do, payments have come in, I've had an invitation to speak at a summit, I've had a guest podcast invitation, I've had invitations have come in, flows have come in. There's been money coming in, we're running the lag, it's all great. There's socializing, there's connections, there's beautiful things happening, and yet the only thing that actually matters is how I feel being in my success flow. And the only thing that knocks me out of being my success flow is when I stop listening to my body and when I fall into a lag or a glitch, which is why I'm running these masterclasses, so that you can understand what the glitches are. Undercharged is the entry point to understand what they are, why they happen. And then part 2, which is the glitch redefined, which is all about fixing the glitch, is about knowing the framework and the structure and how to move through them and to collapse time and come into more of your success flow. And then the lag, which is the acceleration shift, which is we're running at the moment, which is you can come join, as I said, but we're really diving into those deep repetitive patterns that you're just sick and fucking tired of, that are stopping you elevating to that next level of your success. Because there's feeling good. Absolutely. You should feel good and right and love it. And success is a feeling. It is a frequency, but it's your ability to hold that frequency. It's your ability to dance and play in that frequency. It's your ability to receive things that are aligned with that frequency and not go off balance. It's your ability to stay on the ride of success like a wave and celebrate and continue to allow more. That's what I'm all about. That's what it is to be a winner, to be in your success flow. It's not an ending. It's not a final destination. It's about having more and evolving more and celebrating more. Sound good? I really want you to think about those situations in your life where you've said yes when you shouldn't have, no when you shouldn't have. Worst case scenario, I am absolutely sure, ignore the cat in the background. So the worst case scenario, I can think of times when I have gone to bed with somebody when I didn't want to. Worst case scenario. Back in the day, I changed my mind. There are times that you act out of those things when you're still in trauma patterns and you're ignoring yourself because you experienced trauma and abuse. But when you've moved beyond that and you're celebrating yourself, and maybe you haven't done that, but there are still times when we say yes to things when we don't want to, when our body is already telling us no. And when we ignore ourselves, we stop to trust ourselves. So we can't move forward with that confidence. We can't move forward with those decisions where we say, yes, this is right and good, where we have to leap without seeing what is going to happen. We have to leap first. And there are many times I have leapt first, but I can tell you it gets better and better and better, easier and easier and easier, less scary. The risk is minimal the more that you trust yourself. So on the upside, if it's about trusting yourself and you feel great and you know it could bring you something amazing and your body is saying yes, lean the fuck in. But if your body is saying no, just walk away now. Walk away immediately. And we often know that we've fallen into that point where we're out of trusting ourselves, and that success flow is because we're trying to justify. When we try to justify, as I said about this event today, this experience today, when we're justifying the shoulds and the oughts and I better, and we're not in our success flow. When you're in success flow, it's clean. It's a clean yes and it's a clean no. No's are just as important in your success flow, but they're clean and you're not doubting them and you're trusting them and you're moving and you're taking action. That is the exciting part. So if you want to find out more about my work, and you definitely want to dive in and grab both the free 10 success hacks for everyday gold, and also if you want to find out about the 3 masterclasses, come check those out as well at www.richsexyandfree.com. We have our delightful little girlie I'm taking care of at the moment, saying hello and joining us on the podcast.